Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'm going to compare the CZ75D with the CZ75 Compact. Stay tuned. Here we are looking at the specs for the CZ75D PCR. A lot of the features are similar between the two, being the same manufacturer, same double single action trigger system, same chambering, same magazine, same capacity. Want to focus on the differences. So the frame for the 75D PCR is going to be aluminum, which is going to vastly reduce the weight. The 75 compact is going to be steel, so it's going to be much heavier. So we look at the weight here at 27.5 ounces. Same 3.75 inch barrel. The overall length, height, width is going to be the same, but that difference in frame material makes a huge difference in the weight. So now when we go to the 75 compact, we'll see almost 33 ounces. So that is quite a bit of difference. That's more than a quarter-pound difference in weight between the two. So if you're really concerned about the weight of an all-metal pistol, but you still want an all-metal pistol, well, to mitigate that weight, you want to go with the aluminum frame with the PCR. You'll see a lot of the other specs are the same, the MSRP, the chambering, the magazines, grips, one's plastic, one's rubber, not really that much big of a difference between the two. Both have the firing pin block safety, but this one here has the manual safety, whereas the 75D PCR has the decocker. So depending on what you feel comfortable wise, these are both considered compact pistols designed for concealed carry. So it has whatever your flavor desires. If you're a manual safety person who wants to carry it cocked and locked, or if you're a decocker person that wants to have the double action as the quote-unquote safety, you have your choice between the two. Here we have the 75D on top with the decocker, and we have the 75 compact on the bottom with the manual safety. So you'll see there is some minor differences between the two, but there are some similarities. It's still the same manufacturer, same length of barrel, same double single action trigger system, same magazine capacity, but there is a little bit difference between the magazines. So the 75 compact magazines are kind of like the competition magazines, where it says 40 on one side and 9 on the other, and it really should be the other way because most people are going to be right-handed users. So every time you want to see how many 9mm rounds that you have left, you gotta flip it over, which is kind of annoying. But this one that comes with the 75 PCR and the P01, you see the witness holes are in the back, and I've never been able to locate these ones online. So you can get these ones made from Metgar. Also, I have 3 of these that I bought that have Metgar written here instead of the CZ logo. But if you're really picky about the magazines and that influences your choice, well, there's the difference between the two. Same capacity, but a little bit difference in the witness holes, and the feel is a little bit different between the two. And then the blue follower, if that really makes a difference. So you see the 75D also has front and rear slide serrations, whereas on the 75 compact it's only in the rear. But to be honest, you can pinch the slide and you can still rack the slide. Now granted, this one I've changed the parts with Cajun Gunworks parts, so the springs aren't as heavy. But you are able to just pinch it and do press checks that way. You just got to make sure not to catch the dust cover here because it is kind of sharp. So they both have a modified dust cover, as you can see. Neither one of them has a ability to run a weapon mounted light, neither has a pick rail, and I'm not aware of any kind of flashlight doohickey that they have that attaches to this date. So if you're really particular about being able to use front serrations, the 75D has front and rear, and they are pretty aggressive, whereas the 75 compact. So with the combined lower of the frame fitting, the slide fitting into the frame, you get less material, but it's plenty for you to use to manipulate the pistol. And I use the slide lever stop to release when it's, last round, the magazine holds open. I use the slide lever stop. I don't really use this, and to use it to rack one in there, no problem. So it's not really that big of a deal, but on these size pistols, it is a nicer touch to be able to do it like this. But this does have a loaded chamber indicator, so when it's loaded, this little metal ball sticks up. It doesn't interfere with your sight picture, which is nice. And these sights that are a little bit lower profile and have this different shape to them instead of the regular 75 series. These are night sights, but imagine these are just flat 3-dot white sights, right? The shape of these is a little bit different, so using this at the range, this trigger system is the same, but the sights is an adjustment because of how much lower they are, and it's a little bit different. So I find myself a little bit lower with this one just because of the sight issue, and there's less choices of what you can get to replace these, and they can be quite expensive. So if you do want to get aftermarket sights, there's more choices that are more cost effective for this. So this model has the same sights as like the P01 and the other models in the 75 series, the larger ones, where these are a one-off design. So this is kind of a factor that I think increases the cost of this, because the sights are going to generally be more expensive, even though the MSRP between the two is the same. And this one has the decocker, so it's more suited to, I would say, concealed carry for a lot of the people that are going to be CZ fans. You know, with cocked and locked with this, it doesn't have a grip safety like a 1911, so it's only a singular safety system instead of a double safety system like a 1911. But still, it is a double single action pistol, so it, you know, you have it loaded, there's one in there, you can manually decock it and put it in the half cock position like it's decocked and carry it this way also, so that your first trigger pull is still double action. So if you wanted the heavier frame and you still plan to carry it and use it in double single action and you're a competent user, you can do it this way. But for most people, they're probably pretty sketchy about that. They probably rather just have the decocker where it puts it in the half cock position for you every time, rather than manually decocking it, which some people may not find to be the most safe gun handling. If you're a competent user, yeah, but you know, it's not the most safest way to do things. The decocker is an easier way to go, obviously, but it's not like it's impossible to do. So it's just your level of comfort and experience with a firearm is, I would think, going to help to influence what you're comfortable doing and what you're not comfortable doing. So the grips, these are the factory plastic grips. I changed the rubber ones for these G10 grips to match the P01 because these are my two carry pistols that I'm going to carry with the decocker. And I have carried this one, but the extra 5 ounces in weight between the two, you really notice the difference. So this one is definitely more enjoyable to shoot, but this one is more easier to carry because of the weight difference. And they're both really nice, even though that I've Cajunized this one a little bit. Still, right out of the box, these are great pistols one way or the other. You can't lose. But with a little bit of TLC in the spring department, you can have a lot nicer pistol for a very inexpensive price. So these are good platforms right out of the box, and they're highly customizable, and some of the customization, if you can do the work yourself, can be pretty cost effective. So they do have aftermarket parts available for both of them. It's just the sights on this one are different, so you gotta always pay attention. You can't see where it says 75 P01 or 75 compact and think it's going to fit this. If you look and pay attention to the way the slide is cut, it's not the same. So if I were to remove this with the side tool, you would see that the slide is cut a little bit different, so, and the angle. So I bet you that these sights would fit on there, but then you would see this huge stupid gap in the slide. So I'm not really certain it would be worth the work to take it off there to find out. Better just find ones that cost a little bit more money that are specifically say for 75D PCR. Has to say that. So I've been looking online, and you have to pay attention that it doesn't say 75 compact and think it means this, because the sights is different between the two. So that's something to pay attention to. So as far as capability, without the pick rail, very similar. Magazines, very similar. The operation between the two safeties is a big difference, and then the weight. So you have the steel frame here, you have the aluminum frame here. You still have the same double single action trigger system. It's just, what is your experience level? What's your comfort level? And I know with a lot of people, I mean, are you going to practice in double action too? Or are you just going to carry it in single action with the manual safety? You know, that's another thing. So with these, with the P01 and the 75D, I practice in double action and single action. So I have the IPSC targets where you have the A in the center and then up top. So you try to get them in both boxes. So with double and then single action. So where you learn how to manipulate the double action as the first trigger pull, because it can be quite heavy, because it's close to probably, I would say, 10 pounds. So this is factory. So we'll put it all the way hammer down. So the double action trigger pull, now this is going to be really heavy because this is factory. So I'm squeezing really hard right now too, by the way. So it does take quite a bit of effort, but the reset is quite nice on these. It doesn't matter if it's been Cajunized or not. The reset is pretty short, and then the single action trigger pull, a lot more smooth and crisp, about 5 pounds. So factory double action trigger pull is going to be about 10 pounds. Single action, about 5 pounds. But when you Cajunize it, it's going to be drastically reduced. So the double single action on this one, 7.5 for double action, 3.5 for single action. So with this one, hammer all the way down, the double action, now I'm probably going to go right through it because this is how easy it is compared to the other one. So it takes a lot less effort. Reset's pretty short. 3.5 pound trigger pull. So, and that's with a minor investment in just changing the springs from Cajun Gun Works. You don't need to go full on pro package to greatly improve the trigger pull in these. So these are a great platform. There's just minor differences to help you choose which you may prefer based on how you're going to carry it, whether you're going to carry it in a holster concealed or in like a shoulder holster bag like I do. So I prefer the lighter one. Now if I had a holster that I liked, then I would probably use this one. But since the capacity is the same and neither has a ability to have a light, well, I'm going to carry the lighter one every time. So thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.